Hi. Well, my name's Callie Towler. I'm a senior. I am a double major. I'm in theater and cinema as well as English. So this time of the year, I am both really excited and a little bit terrified. I worked on this primarily last semester. My portfolio is more of a outward-looking, moving on from college sort of website. I am doing a little bit of both. For my English degree, I'm looking forward to applying to grad schools and trying to move onward with that education, and taking my theater and cinema degree and kind of looking towards employment with photography and with being productions assistants. So my portfolio had to serve both of those needs. So I kind of had to do a mishmash of graduate school applications of what they wanted as well as what employers would want to see from me, which sometimes overrid, but not always. So my very first picture is awfully colorful. I wanted to get attention. I wanted them to remember who I was. And I wanted them to know a little bit about me quickly and right from the start. Because a lot of those grad schools, from what we're learning, is that they don't have a lot of time to look through the thousands of us that went to my schools. So I have a short little welcome telling them why they're here and why it's important to look at me. And my picture is from one of my events. I hosted the No Fear Theater, which is an event where we let all of the theater students come forward and show a little bit of what they're working on and get a little criticism and a little bit of support, showing everyone that yes, you should continue working on that. And I host that every year. So right from the start, we have a little bit of my shiny shoes and that I'm in control of this side, pointing to a lovely discussion. And I just put who I am, writer, filmmaker, artist. So from the beginning, they know straight up who I am. I have this page of my written work. We were required to have a couple different papers from us. My professor was Professor Scallons, and he encouraged us to put not only the works that wanted to be seen, but also the works that meant the most to us, because those would have been, of course, the things that we worked the hardest on, as well as showing grad schools and employers exactly who we are and what we're capable of. So I put the papers up that meant the most to me, that I had worked the most on, whether they'd been exactly, what the requirements said or not. And I have both poetry and short stories. From the beginning of my school career, back from freshman papers that I've worked on since then, as well as things that I've written more currently. I believe, Time Traveler was from one of my very first English classes, and Brew was from one of my very last. Just to show how much I've changed over these times. And there are little notes on each paper as they show up, showing how those papers have changed, as well as my education through those years. And I have my little what you're going to see from me paragraphs up there. A dreamer of sorts, a lover of rules, because that's how I am as an English major. I want to stretch the rules, but we all know there are some English language rules that we can't break without sounding like we don't know how to use the language. So I talk about that, which actually says a lot about me. So while I'm trying to discuss my work, I'm also showing how that work reflects back on who I am as a whole in this work. That was very important for me, especially for this page, since it is going forward, not only with my educational career, but also with, hopefully, an artistic career. This is my film work. The Dream Interpreter was a huge project that I did in a semester-long class. We used this as a semester-long project. This is the trailer for it. On this page, I wanted to show all of the film work that I've been doing in a little bit clips, not the whole films because that would get a little bit tiresome. But this is the trailer, and then down below, if I can work this mouse, there we go, is a documentary that I was working on, as well as another experimental film that I was showing. And all three of these show definitely different genres. The Dream Interpreter is a dream fiction. The Upon a Star is a documentary. And Modern History is an experimental film. And I use the three of these to show the range of my talent, the range of what I'm capable of as a filmmaker, in the same way that I did with my written work. So they're kind of parallel in the way that they're showing the range as well as what I want to do, as well as what I'm capable of. The differences being that this is way more visual, of course, because it's got the films going on, and it's got much shorter parts of text, much shorter, quicker ways to get people to know what they're about to look at. But it's also a little more drawing in, because it's so much easier to draw in with physical things like trailers and with the showing exactly what you're about to get from me. So this was also very important to me to show exactly what I wanted to be working on. course, did the boring thing and included the resume. But grad schools kind of need things like that to see exactly in black and white what I did do. But it's included just as a little priority, just to show what I have been doing. Very clean, very concise, so there's no, it's one of those parts that you don't want to have a lot of color going on. It's just very clean, and this is exactly what I've done. So that's just a very short illustration. This is synthesis, and for me, this was my hardest page to work on. A lot of the portfolios they were discussing on reflection that they had to do on our work. As a senior, there's a lot of reflection going on, and there's a lot I could say, and this could go on and on and on. So this page was hardest for me because I had to say all of that in a very short, still interesting amount of time. And I won't read it all to you, but I had to think about not only what affected me, but what affected me that would matter to somebody else. There are a lot of things that I think are important in my college career, that I think were important to my education, that affected me. But these are things that had to affect me moving outwards, the things that made me change the way that I do my education, the way that I write, the way that I create film. And so that's what I had to choose how to say here. To show my personality, as well as what I can bring to the table. And of course I've got my snarky little picture of me working on the film set, as well as me during one of our English studies. So it's got a cute little picture of who I am while saying the reflection, but keeping it very short so that I don't have to get in too long-winded into all of my wonderful memories here at Virginia Tech. My contact is also very short and sweet, but this message goes straight into my email. The message just goes straight to me. I also have my Twitter feed, which I'm constantly updating with films they're working on and all the projects. I'm in charge of the Prodigy Film Festival, which shameless plug, you should all go see. Is that the lyric on the tent? So my Twitter feed updates with all of those information of what I'm working on and what I'm constantly doing, so that you can always constantly be watching me, so you can get straight there from here. When I've cleaned up my blog so that it's perfect and everything, that's going to be included on this page as well, so that I'm also updating on all of the work that I'm doing as I'm moving forward with a theater company. We're heading to Scotland, so all of that will be on this page as well. But mine is much shorter, much concise and wrapped up package, because I need to hit grad schools and employers with exactly what they're going to get, with exactly what they want, rather than the wonderful proposals you've seen who have a little bit more reflection. Mine had to be shorter and more concise and hit harder with grad schools and things. So that's fine.
This is going to be used for the English department's graduation requirements as well, or is this only for your
This was an English requirement.
Yeah.
I simply included my theater and cinema studies because it was such a big part. Because my English major and my theater and cinema major balanced and followed each other all 4 years. So I had to include them. But it was for the English requirement.
That's perfect. It's a living document. That's great.